Hey everyone, did you know the government in Canada wants to help you buy a home, like literally help you and take a portion of the risk? Okay, if you want to learn how to decrease your down payment and decrease your mortgage payments, you definitely want to watch this video, especially if you're a first time home buyer. So in today's video, I want to cover what is the first time home buyers incentive. I also want to talk about who is eligible for the first time home buyers incentive. I also want to talk about how it works, how to pay back the incentive, and will it really save you money? And what are the pros and cons with the first time home buyers incentive? So if you're looking to buy a home in the next year or two and you're a first time home buyer and take advantage of the fact that housing prices have softened, well, this is your opportunity. Let's dig into that right now. So what is the first time home buyers incentive? Well, in a nutshell, it literally means the government Canada owns a tiny slice of your home by owning a bit of the equity. So they will loan up to 5 or 10% of the property's purchase price to help you put towards the down payment. So that means that literally it's a tax-free loan that must be repaid within 25 years or when the house is sold. And that means you don't have to put as big of a down payment. Now, it sounds really too good to be true. So let's talk about how can you be eligible for it and what are the pros and cons. So who's eligible? You must be a Canadian citizen, you must be a first-time home buyer, or not have lived in a home that you've owned or owned by a spouse for at least the last 4 years. You also obviously need to have money for the minimum down payment, and you must be pre-approved for more than 80% of the property's value. So that could be 90%, 85%, and have it covered by mortgage insurance. Now, there are two other very, very specific eligibility criteria. Okay, in order to get this incentive, it's location and income. So, location, most parts of the country, the mortgage can't be more than 4 times your qualifying income. Now, in Toronto, Vancouver, and Victoria, the limit is 4.5 times your income. So, for example, if your income, household income, is 100 grand, you can't have a mortgage more than $400,000, with the exception of Toronto, Vancouver, and Victoria. Now, also, another criteria is your total household income. It can't be more than 120K. So in Toronto, Vancouver, Victoria, the cutoff is a little bit higher. It's $150,000. So for example, if you live in Ottawa and your household income earns $120,000, that means that the most you can borrow from a lender like a bank can't be more than $480,000 in order to get approved in the first time home buyers incentive program. Now, if you live in Vancouver and you have a maximum household income of 150K, then your maximum mortgage you could get through the first time home buyers incentive program is $675,000. If you or your household earns $1 more, you're cut off. Unfortunately, you can't be part of the program. So, how much can you get if you get qualified? So, let's talk about that right now. So, for purchase of an existing home, you can get 5%. If you are buying a new construction home, you can get up to 10% of the purchase price. Now, if you're looking at a mobile home or a manufactured home or resold manufactured home, you could get up to 5% of the purchase price. Now, if this sounds interesting to you and you really want to take advantage of it, because if I were in your shoes and if I had those income thresholds and I met that criteria, I would totally take advantage of this because that means there's less of a down payment from me, right? And that means a less of down payment for you if you decide to take advantage of it. So let's talk about how do you pay back after you qualify for this first time home buyers incentive. Well, if you've entered a shared equity agreement with the government, because basically the reason the government's allowing you to do this is because they have skin in the game. They're going to own a portion of your home. So essentially they could own 5 or 10% of your home. That means that they're entitled to the same home value at the time you repay your first time home buyers incentives. But there's a limit to how much the government Canada will take some of that money. Okay. So if your home appreciates in value, you could either, pay back the original loan percentage according to the market value of the home or the equivalent of 8% annual growth of the original loan amount, whichever is lower. And if your home loses value, well, you also have to pay back the higher of the two amounts. Okay. So make sure you just don't go jump in and buy any home and then all of a sudden starts plummeting in price over the next 5 years because you also have to pay back that loan to the government in Canada. So let's use an specific example. So you purchase a $600,000 home using a 5% first time home buyer's incentive worth $30,000. So in 10 years, you sell it for $1 million. So 5% of the current sale price would be $50,000. Now, if the annual appreciation limit is capped to the amount you owe at 8% a year, which is $2,400 per year or $24,000 total, then you could add 24 grand back to the original amount borrowed and you get $54,000. So remember, you only required to pay back the lower of the two amounts because the $50,000 being 5% of the current sale price is actually lower, then you pay back 50 grand instead of being capped to 8% per year of the original loan amount. So I know that probably one big question is like, oh, I have to pay back more than what the government Canada loaned me. Okay, come on. It's like an interest-free loan, you guys. It's free. Okay, it's free. Interest-free loan. Just think of it as a second mortgage against your home. Okay, it's a second mortgage the government Canada has lent you. It's a way to get into the market sooner than later. Now, if you are like really don't like paying back more to the government Canada than what they loaned you, there's an option. You can get out of the loan, just elect to repay your first time home buyer's incentive loan as soon as you can. The only caveat is that it still needs to be assessed at the market value of the home. So if your house appreciated, say 2 years later, you need to get an appraiser to appraise the home, and that will determine the market value of the home and determine how much you have to pay back that loan. So that way you don't own a lot of money back to the Bank of Canada or to the government of Canada. So let's talk about the pros and cons of first time home buyers incentive. So here's the pros, okay? You can actually get into buying a home sooner than later by lowering the cost of your mortgage. Also, you get to start building equity sooner than later, okay? It's like if you are planning to buy a home anyway, and you were going to wait until like 3 years later to buy a home, why not get it in right now, especially when the housing prices have softened? This is a great opportunity. Another huge pro is that you don't pay anything for the government Canada to loan you money. It's 0%. And so that means it doesn't put a drain on your monthly cash flow because you don't have to worry about paying back this loan month after month over a certain time period. You do that when you sell the home. Now, there's also flexibility. Okay, you have up to 25 years, okay, 25 years before you pay back this loan. Obviously, you thought maybe the way to get out of it is never sell your home, but unfortunately, there's a limitation. It's 25 years. Now, here's the con, though. The limitations is that, well, the household income is capped, so maybe you don't qualify. Also, in a lot of cities, the limits on the home mortgage might be a little too low. For example, Vancouver, can you get a mortgage for $600,000? Probably is a little too low. So it doesn't help a lot of households to find housing that meets their need. The other big no-no potentially is the big payback, okay? Because Government Canada loaned you a bit of money, they want to share a certain percentage of the money. But to me, yeah, it's a disadvantage. Sure, you could actually be paying them more than what they loan you, but I don't know, it's free money, okay? You got it for free, and then why not share some of the profits with the government in Canada? And then the other one is still a con, but I would say small con, is the appraisal cost. So if you decide to exit out, maybe you want to pay that second mortgage to the government in Canada sooner than later, you're going to have to, well, pay for an appraiser and get your house assessed, the market value, and then pay back that loan to the government Canada. But appraiser cost isn't that expensive. We're talking like a few $100s. So if you are interested in qualifying for a first time home buyer's incentive, I'm super passionate about this because I wish this existed for me when I was doing this. You just got to get pre-approved for a mortgage and find a home that you like to purchase, obviously meet the criteria. Fill in the forms on the First Time Homebuyers Incentive website, which I'm going to include in the links below, and then give the forms to your bank, okay, who will submit them on your behalf. Once the application is successful, you got to phone or get your lawyer to phone and then make sure you get the incentive at least 2 weeks before the closing date. Anyways, I'll include the links below. I hope you found this super helpful. I'm going to do a video on the first time home buyers plan, which is actually something I took advantage when I bought my first home and started my real estate investing journey. If you want to hear more about that and how you can combine that with the first time home buyers incentive and all the ins and outs of the home buyers plan, plus there's also home buyers tax credit, which is there's a lot of help from the government Canada, definitely let me know. Do you want me to make a video on that? Let me know in the comments below. Hello, fellow Canadians. If you want to build cash flow and wealth using stocks and real estate in Canada, build confidence in your investing journey, avoid the 9-to-5 burnout, and ultimately earn financial independence and live your best life, you definitely want to hit the subscribe button and that bell notification button to get the latest and greatest videos from me, because I love talking about that stuff. Anyways, I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.